I've been wanting to create a piece of art with a thrifted window frame, but I haven't been able to find one, so I decided to make my own. I'm starting this project with the frame. I want to paint it to look like an old window, so I'm using this beige colored paint for the base layer. Now that I have that layer on, I want to create some texture on the frame. I'm going to use this thick texture medium and with a small trowel to put it on. The paste is going to harden and give the frame the look of an old layered paint that's been on there for a long time. Now that the texture medium is dry, I'm going to cover those spots with the same beige paint that I used for the first layer. Next, I want to make my faux window panes on the glass. To do this, I'm going to find the middle both vertically and horizontally and start with a piece of painter's tape marking those spots. I want to add one piece of tape to either side now so that I can remove the middle, and that's going to create a space where I can paint and create panes. Using some white chalk paint, I can now fill in that middle part of the painter's tape and make my faux window panes. With everything painted, I want to create the flowers on the window now. I've chosen some folk art type flowers that I love and I've printed them out. This is the perfect way to create a piece of art if you don't feel confident hand painting something. I'm going to arrange and tape these to the front of the glass with the pictures facing through to the back. I actually want to paint the flowers on the back of the glass so that it looks like you're looking through a window when you see them. Using small artist brushes, I can now paint each of the flowers using the printed flower as my guide. I'm just using fun folk art colors that match the style of the flowers and the stems. I'm probably going to need to paint each one of them twice just to make sure the paint is nice and dark. Now that everything's dry, I can go ahead and remove the pattern flowers and then find a new place for my piece of art. How fun is this piece? I love that I was able to turn the thrifted frame into something special. I hope this has inspired you to give your old frame or window a makeover as well. I saw these gems at the dollar store and knew exactly what I wanted to do with them. To start this project, I need to get the old window ready. Thankfully with this one, the glass is clipped in so I can easily remove it before painting the frame. Some white paint will do the trick to lighten up this dark frame. I'll probably need 2 coats to sufficiently cover the dark stain. Now that the paint is dry, I want to give the edges a little distressing and an aged feel. I've gone ahead and put the glass back into the frame, and it's time to start adding the clear gems. These glass pieces have a flat side as well as a rounded one. As I'm placing them down, I want to make sure and put the flat side up against the glass. Now that I have the first layer of clear gems down, I want to use these beautiful blue and purple ones to start making some flowers that'll work into my piece. With the flowers done, I can now start to fill in all of the space around them with the clear glass gems. With half of the gems in place, I want to start adhering them to the glass. I'm using a clear silicone adhesive to stick the gems in place. They just need a little dab on the back, and then the silicone will hold everything where I place it and dry clear so that it doesn't affect my final piece. I love how pretty this old window is now, and how amazing it looks both against a window and a wall. I hope this has inspired you to grab some glass gems and give your old window a makeover as well.
I grabbed an old window and transformed it. I started by cutting up a palette, removing the boards, and hammering all the nails out. I gave them a light sand on all sides and edges and trimmed them to length to make a square frame the same size as the window. I used my Craig jig to make 2 pocket holes on each end of the 2 boards, making the square frame. I cut and sanded 3 more boards to fit the inside width and used pocket holes to secure them to the frame. I placed a wood block between each row to ensure the boards would be even. I set the palette frame aside and I sanded the window frame using a palm sander for the surface, and I hand sanded the inside edges and hard to reach spots. I taped on either side where the caulking was and applied new white caulk with silicone and wiped smooth with a damp finger. I immediately removed the tape to reveal a clean finish. I attached hinges to secure the window to the palette frame, making sure to pre-drill before screwing it in. I added a glass knob in the middle of the right side of the window. I added a magnet in the top right corner and a screw and washer on the inside top right side of the window for a magnetic closure. I cleaned the glass really well and sprayed soapy water all over the surface and applied a window cling that makes it look like stained glass. I attached a piece of 1/4-inch plywood with wood glue and brad nails to the back, and now I have the most stunning cabinet that looks like it's made with stained glass. I hope this inspired you to source an old window and make it into a beautiful stained glass cabinet.
If you'd like to gain a little extra storage space, consider picking up an old wooden window frame without the glass. I'm flipping over the window frame facing it good side down, using 8 simple cup hooks from the dollar store that were previously spray painted with black. I am selecting 4 for the next step. I'm also using 2 hanging chains removed from dollar store wire baskets. Going by my penciled marks, I'm screwing a cup hook onto the window frame on each side. I'm now transferring the same hook placement measurement to the other short side of the window and screwing in 2 more cup hooks. I'm now documenting the measurements of the window hanging apparatus so I can transfer it to my desired hanging spot. You'll want to measure the middle of each side of the window as well as the full length from left to right. Choosing the spot on my ceiling, I'm transferring the measurements and screwing 2 cup hooks into the ceiling so I can hang my window frame up. If your ceiling isn't wood like mine, you will likely need to screw into ceiling studs or use anchors, depending on the weight. I'm now gathering up a few random hooks along with some rustic baskets for a starting point. Large S hooks are my favorite. However, I am also hanging up the decor in a few different ways. Another way is to loop some heavier rope together, then close the ends together with wrapped thinner twine. You can also screw cup hooks into the window frame for easier hanging too. I'm using a combination of all of the above plus more for a random rustic look. And you are left with a charming and rustic way to either add additional storage to your space or use it as a way to display your favorite collections. I hope this inspires you to consider picking up an old window frame, short ladder, or even a wooden shutter to create a kitchen ceiling display of your own.
Pick up a window-like frame at the craft store and create an easy winter sign. Start by cutting acetate sheets that are slightly larger than the opening of each window pane. You can use a dry erase marker to sketch or write your designs, or find clip art online to use. Keep the designs simple so that they are easy to trace. Once you've printed out your designs, attach one to each acetate pane. Tape to your work surface to keep your work from shifting, then start tracing. A chalk paint pen is easy to use, and any smudges or mistakes can be easily erased. You can also go over any areas that are sheer or see-through. Let the paint dry completely before attaching the pane to the frame. For easy removal, we like to use museum putty, which will keep the panes sturdily attached but can be taken off when needed. Now hang your frame and send some winter cheer.